The Book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the Book.
You covered! You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the Book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
Hi, guys. Welcome into another episode of the Bostonian versus the Book. Matt Perrault, Dave Sharapan with you guys here live on YouTube and Twitter at Boston versus the Book. Thank you for hanging out, everybody waiting for us a little later than normal.
Sorry.
On the start, no, I got stuff to do. It's all good. We had a couple of meetings. Dave had a couple of meetings, things we got to take care of this morning. So it's all good. We are live here on YouTube and Twitter at Boston versus the Book, Sports Grid on the replay at night. How are you guys? You night owls. Lots of good, different types of conversations on deck. This is not a big sports day in terms of games. There's baseball, there's a basketball game. There's a lot of things going on in the sports world that we're going to get to here at the top of the show. First and foremost, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. On one again, but on one in a good way today. I don't know who's watching. I don't know who's paying attention. It doesn't matter. The curtains are open, okay? The curtains are wide open, and we're doing the dance. Zach the Hat wanted me to do the dance. Did you not see Josiah Johnson's tweet this morning of Pop doing the pop and lock and all the dances? When he posted a tweet today of, it was not Pop himself, but it looked like him.
Greg Popovich?
Oh, yeah. Getting the first pick, getting Wemby, changing the whole course of action in San Antonio has been so bad. Now it's so good. Future is bright. Just like the BVB future is bright. You can put us down. We ain't tanking for nobody. We're going up. We got these people with us.
Yeah.
It's unstoppable. Unstoppable. That's how
Agreed.
Hey, good morning.
Agreed. Good morning. Good afternoon. Wherever it's afternoon now for us. It's a rarity. We're actually on it. We're actually on an afternoon. So again, a lot of questions about what's happening on June 8th and June 9th for us coming up. Pete. Okay. So we are live for 2 hours on Thursday and on Friday. That is done. Okay. It is happening. Signed, sealed, delivered. Okay. We're going to be live at Circa for what they're calling, it's never too early to talk about football, live shows. So included in that is going to be passes per day to come hang out with us in our cabana. We will give those away. And for one lucky BVB Brigader, we will give you a 2-night stay and transportation from the airport to Circa via limo. We'll take care of you. We'll pick you up. We're going to bring you down. You're going to hang with us. You're going to get in the stadium swim for free. You're going to hang out with us on both days, Thursday and Friday. And then you can head on back to wherever you need to get back to for, Sunday or so. Just watch and pay attention for the next couple of shows. Most likely we'll start it on Monday. We'll start to have the qualifications for how you guys can get in, not just to win the passes for Stadium Swim, but also for the all-inclusive trip. No airfare included, okay? So if you gotta get your butt to Vegas. But if you get here, you and a guest can come here. We'll take care of you. You'll be in. It'll be all good for June 8th and June 9th. That's a Thursday and a Friday, by the way. So just a heads up. Coming soon, Circa live shows, June 8th and June 9th. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so. I think you got it. You got it. I'm trying
Stay tuned for more
Circa hats as well. Talking to the boys about, maybe we get some hats. But that's going to be it's going to be a fun couple days.
Oh, it really is. And the weather is, you can feel it. I've been doing this morning run thing, and it's each morning it's starting to get a little crispy, a little hotter. It's like, okay, maybe Dave might be right. Maybe it might be 110 by the time we're out there, but it'll be fun.
The over-under's 108.5, just so you know.
I'm going to bet the under, okay? But we'll see. The Grasshoppers are out and everywhere here in Vegas.
Oh, speaking of which, too, you did forget one thing, and I just looked down in the chat. And again, if you guys are watching the show live every day, you can do it on Twitter. You can do it on YouTube. If you're doing it on YouTube, at Boston versus the Book on both, at symbol Boston versus the book. In the chat, you can communicate both with us and other brigade members, people that watch and really just loyal listeners and followers of the show, and both of us on Twitter as well, at Sports BK and Sig, at Sports Talk Matt. But our Iowa guy, Todd Brommelkamp, will be there as well.
Yes.
He's coming in to do shows too. So hopefully we're going to collaborate, commiserate. All of the eights, whatever we're going to do, we're going to hang out, maybe even eat a meal together with Brommelkamp. Just saying, not saying. But he's going to be there too. So it'll be a great little summer getaway, a little summer hangout session. If we get enough people, I don't know about if we're going to actually like golf, but we could maybe put something together. Maybe not. That might be too much too soon.
Golf?
I'm excited. It's a Thursday and Friday. Guys, if you're here in town.
Top golf.
Maybe we could do that little hangout session over there. That's so expensive. I'd rather just go to Angel Park and hit balls and then have lunch.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
we'll do a lot. I mean, it'll be a weekend. Like this is going to be a test for us. Okay. So we're efforting and thinking about a lot of different ways of how, and we'll get to Pat McAfee's news later, but like, we're not having up to something season like Pat, but we're having all of these conversations and with people about what we think. We're having one this afternoon. Like, what should be the next iteration? Like, how do we take this show and really make the show sustainable? How do we keep this so we're not out here like whining and we're cracking jokes about, get a sponsor and blah, blah, blah. But there are legitimate conversations happening about what we're going to do this coming fall. The show could look different. There could be different things, different components to the show. Like, there's all these different things we're trying to figure out.
What do you mean look different? What do you mean look different? How about look different?
I mean, we might be doing live shows somewhere. We might be out. We might be, right now it's just me and you on camera. There might be something behind us. We might be in a studio. We might be on the strip. We might not be. I mean, there's all different things and conversations we're having about what we'll do here for the season. And, one thing that we're trying to figure out is just like you guys as in the audience, what's your level of interest to be with us when we do things like this at Circa? So if you are interested, if you thought about it, if you can make it, it would be really cool to kind of meet you guys in person. We're meeting a couple of brigaders tonight at Circa. We're going down there tonight to see them.
Midwest guys from out of town.
Guys, ex-cops. I learned that last night. So
adding to the security force?
Yeah, ex-police
How
officers.
does this keep happening? We're getting dudes that like are ex-cops?
Yeah. So
what do they want to talk about?
I don't know. So they want to come by. They made hats on their own. The two of them bought and designed their own BVB hats. They went to Circa, they went to Lids, and they made their own hats. So that type of stuff is what gets us just so fired up and so excited. Yes. Because that's what we want. I mean, as we build the community and we build the brigade out and we grow, we want to add different things and we want to see what we can do. And when Dave talks about doing trips, like, we're not just like blowing smoke saying like, we want to do shows out and come to you on the East Coast. There's so many of you guys in Pittsburgh and on the East Coast that if we can figure out a way of doing one of these, not just in Vegas, but on the East Coast.
Oh, we're coming.
We would love to do that. We would love. Yeah. It would be super fun. I mean, Dave's working with the Pirates right now. We got in with the Pirates, and we got things going on the East Coast with other people, and obviously the DraftKings guys. We all know them, and things are happening. So that's Boston is a target. Pittsburgh's a target. I mean, New York's a target. I mean, they're all different things that we want to get ourselves over to. Iowa, it could be, for football season, it could be, sure. For college football, I mean, you haven't seen the Cyhawk game before, so I think it'd be cool to take you to the Cyhawk game to have you go out there and do that. And, so the industry is changing so dramatically. We've talked all about what happened with PointsBet selling. We're watching Pat walk away from a huge deal with FanDuel. Like the industry is doing what we thought it was going to do. Consolidation is starting, but good content's good content. And gambling talk is great. If you can talk and give picks, and that's fine, but can you actually sustain it? Can you keep people around? Can you make it fun? Because good content wins at the end.
Good content wins. I mean, I got more calls and talks and things about the curtains thing than I had no idea. And that was, I thought it was curtains out. They opened up curtains. Our discussion about that. I can't believe it.
Stop doing the hand gestures. It's the visuals.
What do you mean? Open the curtains, close the curtains. What are we talking about here? I'm talking about curtains like in a show.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Rommel Camp's in the chat saying he's pretending like I don't know about future plans is one of his favorite shticks that I'm doing. I don't know.
He's actually not
Nobody
being. It's
does.
not a shtick. It's actually
It's
a
not a
reality.
shtick.
I mean,
This is reality television. This is real
Yeah.
stuff. Perrault is as real as it gets. I'm beyond real. Open book. All of it. We're trying our best, but we're gonna bring some stuff. We're talking to everybody. I can't wait for this call this afternoon.
Yeah.
Another Midwest guy we're going to talk to about some things. We'll find out more.
He's in the Midwest. I don't think he's from the Midwest, but yes, it's a call
He's
with
in the
somebody.
Midwest. He told me he's on Central Time. That's all I know.
He is. He's in Milwaukee.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
it.
but I don't know where he originally is from. Actually,
Right.
I don't think. But anyways, it's beside the point. But
Brandon S. was at Circa last night. He just missed us.
We're going tonight. Yeah, sorry.
We're
Yeah, we're going tonight. So
I didn't know, Brandon.
Yeah.
we would have met you.
We would have met you.
We're
Yeah,
going
if anyone's going to Circa tonight, we'll be down there tonight. So we'll be there hanging and having some fun. So, all right, last night, interesting stuff. LeBron James fell to 5-15 in game ones on the road in his career. How in the world that game? We'll get to the total, the number here in a second, but. Was that the Lakers figuring out how to stop the Nuggets, or was that the Nuggets taking their foot off the gas when they're up by 20?
Option 2 for me. But I mean, full disclosure, I thought it was done.
Everyone did.
And I left the house to then go meet the kids and Jess out because we had to get a meal before I had to go pick up Kylie, which will be my best thing about today, which we do at the end of every show.
In bonus time, which is worth hanging around for.
Right. BVB bonus time, which is the show after the show when you get the real good stuff. I mean, the stuff is good all show, but that stuff, I had 2 people tell me yesterday, they literally go, these are teenagers. They go to watch the best thing about today first. And then come back. These are friends of my daughters who said,
that's really
you guys
that's cool.
You guys are really funny. And you talk about we don't really care about the lines, Coach Dave. We just like to hear you guys talk because you're funny. And I was like, cool. What's not funny is when a game falls on 6. Like, that's one of those ones when you're like, as the book, it might mean a meeting today. Because you go to grade it and you're like, how the hell did that game fall 6? So I left the house when it was a blowout and I got to Buffalo Wild Wings and was like, what the hell just happened? How did this happen?
Now, for the general public who bet 6, that's not the problem, right? The problem is for the professionals who bet the opening number and then bet the closing number, correct?
There's people that laid 4.5 and 5 and 5
opening number.
There's other people that waited until it got to 6.5 at the end and took the 6.5 and 7. The book is trying to make sure that one person doesn't do that, but ideally, sometimes they do. They might, if you're trying to middle and arb, just do it at different books is ideal. Like, because books sometimes get mad about that. Other books like Circa don't care. Doesn't matter. We never cared. I just needed to know what number was going to hurt me. 6 hurt. How did it fall on 6?
Because I missed free throw. Missed Jokic free throw late. How did it fall 6?
Was there a late 3 by LeBron too that was missed?
He missed it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It was down 4. They were down 4. LeBron jacked a prayer 3. 2 free throws, fall 6. Should have fallen 7.
Anything but 6. That was a 6 the hard way, if you know what I'm saying. A craps reference. Yeah. That was listen, we talked about it on the show yesterday. The numbers sidewise, very, very tight. There's no more gifts. And I don't mean gifts, something that I think, we kind of started here with the hockey.
Goal in the first 10
minutes. Did we start that?
No.
Oh, no, they were calling the gifts before that?
We helped to further the conversation with it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I never heard it before our show, so I thought we started it. So I apologize to whoever started calling it a gift. But there's no more gifts in the NBA sidewise. You're laying the number that the book wants you to lay on the side, or you're taking the number that the book wants you to take. There's no more options. There's no more 12 games a night. There's one game. Good luck. It's hard.
It's really hard. But what do you make of the total being off by 30 points?
We talked about that on the show yesterday too.
Yeah,
First
I thought 222
over,
was way too low. We talked about that, saying, wait a minute. And just what Michael Malone had said going into the game is that they did not want to allow the Lakers to get set defensively, so they were going to run. And boy, did they ever run. They grabbed the ball and go, go, go. Every time was up the court as fast as possible. And then, I mean, LeBron likes playing that way. So the Lakers will play with a team that wants to run, and both teams are just going. And I was concerned about the Lakers total. I was like, man, I got the over of 222. I think I'm going to get 120 at least out of the Nuggets. I'm going to need 100 points out of the Lakers. I wasn't sure I was going to get it at one point because they had, I mean, in the third quarter, they had 65 points. And I was like, uh-oh. And then the run happened and the Lakers went off. And all of a sudden, it flew over.
72-54 was the halftime score. 126. Denver put up 72 points in the first half. I mean, you want to talk about a parade to the basket? It was a free throw line.
Yeah.
I mean, a layup line.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
But it was also the threes, though. Jokic was hitting some prayers.
He was.
I mean, that shot at the end of the second half was ridiculous. For a second quarter, rather, was ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. And then I tweeted one. I love the basketball with like the rap song thoughts and stuff. When he made that shot, I had heard that flavor in your ear. He got flavor in your ear. Right. When he put that shot up right in front of Anthony Davis.
And Davis was like, eh.
And then Davis was like, what am I going to do? That was flavor in your ear. Yeah, like that was like,
can't stop that.
Done. And then,
but game two, though, do we see a big change here?
Did you see the number?
It's the same, is it not?
5.5 side. You see the total?
I thought it was 224.
226.5 or 227, sir.
226.5 now. Yep. That's okay. I still bet over.
That's the adjustment, right? You got to move it. It was too low. We talked about it. We were right yesterday. We've talked about other things and we've been wrong. Right. It doesn't matter. That's what we talk about on the show. But we knew, I felt pretty confident that number was too low. Now, by how much it goes over, doesn't matter. Unless you're making a points bet, like with points bet, which
that's gone.
You're not going to be making that anymore, so you don't have to worry about action.
That doesn't exist anymore. That's gone.
So, did I say that out loud? Was that one of those things that we're not supposed to talk about?
You can say it out loud, but
whatever. We're not swearing, but F it, right? The adjustment's been made. All right, 227, 226.5. Now we've found the number where maybe we can work backwards. But what did you see last night that's going to indicate that what? We're going to play a different type of game? Hell no. That's the way Denver's going to play every game.
Yeah, I think the over is good up to 230. I think you get me to 230, I'll start to worry. But anything in the 220s, I'm going to bet over in this series.
I love when you get confident like that. You're like, I ain't afraid.
I'm not afraid of this. I mean,
I ain't afraid.
Not this stuff. I mean, it was, I laid 6, so I pushed on the 6. But, I think if you look at the way that Denver can attack, and if they're hitting their threes, which they were in the first half, it opens up everything for Jokic. Now, he's not going to do what he did last night.
Right.
I mean, he hit the prop that we talked about yesterday for points and rebounds in the third quarter.
Easy.
It was dumb. I guess points and assists, sorry, because the rebounds was 21. It cleared. He scored, 34, 21, and 8 or 9. Like, he hit them all. He went over points, over rebounds, over assists. He hit everything.
Right.
He was unbelievable. If he plays like this, I mean, that's the recipe for ending the Lakers. I mean, that's, again, why I think the Nuggets have a really good shot of winning it all, because Boston's not stopping that.
Did you say end the Lakers?
Yeah, knock them out. Beat them, yes. End their season.
It just had a nice ring to it.
It would be all right. I would love to end the Lakers for good. Yes, it would be phenomenal to end them forever. But look,
not forever, just this season.
They're not dead. You said the line price heading into the series was a split number, that they were going to split the first 2. After watching game 1, did the Lakers win game 2?
You know the way these things go. I mean, there's going to be people that will bet that. Yes.
Zigzag theory, right?
What was that price? Was it a plus money price to bet them to win game 1 and win the series?
The Lakers or the Nuggets? No, Nuggets.
The Nuggets it was minus 145 money line, right? For the,
I think it was like minus 120 or something. It wasn't. It wasn't either small juice or small plus. It wasn't
right.
I
would have thought it was like plus 120 or even money or something.
Yeah,
like,
that sounds right. Yep.
Maybe even plus as high as 150. But
yeah, and everybody again, the whole gambling media people came in and liked the Lakers again. Like they liked the Lakers in Game 7, and
I like the Lakers every game.
They do, and I mean,
people like the Lakers. That's always.
I don't know what Kendrick Perkins keeps on saying that the Los Angeles Lakers are the best defensive team in the playoffs.
It must be in the notes, right? I mean, the numbers say they are. The numbers they are one of the best. They probably are the best defensive team left in the playoffs from the trade deadline on. Their numbers indicate they're ridiculous.
Okay, I don't.
Then
see
you watch the games, and when you
see, I don't see it. I just don't see it. Like I'm watching open shots and layups, and like, what are we? This is a great defensive team, really? Like, okay, they're good. They're not. I mean, Perkins keeps on saying like the Los Angeles Lakers are the best defensive team. They're gonna, beat the Nuggets because of their defensive effort, and I'm like. They gave up over 70 points in the first half. Like what? What are we talking about?
Don't know.
I don't get it. I don't know. I don't understand this. I just love affair with the Lakers defense, but I mean, they're very tough to stop offensively, but it's amazing how much they need Austin Reeves. Like they need a third weapon.
He's the man.
They need him.
He is him.
According to him, he is him.
He is him. He wasn't him last night.
No. And when he is not scoring, they have a tough time. I mean, Anthony Davis and LeBron will get theirs, but they need that third weapon. And if it's not Russell, it's not somebody else off the bench, if it's not Reeves, they have a tough time. I mean, they scored a bunch of points. So they had a big run, but I don't know. I still like Denver in the series. I still think Denver is going to beat the Lakers. So we'll see how that goes.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. So you mentioned it. The Spurs win the draft lottery. We talked about it yesterday. What was the best for business? And Wembanyama.
I thought it was Spurs or Rockets was best for business myself.
And it falls San Antonio.
They're going to love that big 7'4" Wemby in Texas.
Well, you made a great point yesterday that I didn't really even think about. You said Greg Popovich was convinced to stick around because of what was potentially down the pike.
Yeah.
What was coming. And I went, you know what? That's actually really true. That's actually a really good point about why did Popovich suffer through this season at his age, knowing that something very good could be coming. And they win the draft lottery. Look at that. They get the generational player. The last time they had the number 1 pick overall, they took a guy who wound up in Springfield, Massachusetts. Mr. Tim Duncan.
What the hell's in Springfield, Massachusetts for the people that don't know?
Basketball Hall of Fame.
Have you been there?
Multiple times. I've done radio shows from there, actually.
Is it nice?
It is now. They redid it. When I was growing up, it was always, we were like, this is the Hall of Fame? What the hell is this? And then
That's what I thought when I went to Canton. When I was a little kid. I was like, wait a second. They do all this stuff. They have these guys do these speeches and all this stuff. This is it?
Yeah.
Like it didn't, but now it's amazing.
Yeah, now they they invested like a $20 million. Now they have full courts there. They play basketball tournaments there. Like
play basketball at the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, they play high school and college basketball tournaments at the Hall of Fame.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
how about that?
Yeah, there's a whole full arena, and like they totally did it up. They did it right. It was not nice. When I was growing up, I was like, this thing sucks, but it's nice now. But Tim Duncan was the guy that drafted number 1. So Victor Wembanyama is gonna be, I mean, he's 7'4". Some are saying call him 7'5". He's actually taller than 7'4". He's 7'4.5", closer to 7'5".
Can't wait to get him on the show someday.
7'5".
Just want to stand next to him, take a picture.
I mean, everybody. I mean, the height, the size. It's, he gets to play for Greg Popovich. This is crazy. Do you know the Spurs in the next 5 years have 13 first-round picks? I heard this morning.
How's that possible?
They traded everybody away. They
did.
The Kawhi Leonard deal. Like they made all of these moves for this to happen. Like this is what they were dreaming of, and they got it. They got the kid. They got the next superstar. 17,000 tickets sold overnight.
17,000
overnight.
If you lived in San Antonio, would you buy tickets?
Hell yes. You've been to San Antonio?
Never been.
There are 3 things to do in San Antonio.
Oh boy, here
That's
we
it.
go.
3.
Hold on. 3 things to do in San Antonio. I'm putting the listening glasses on for this. Go ahead, sir.
The Riverwalk,
Okay.
the Alamo,
Okay.
Spurs games.
That's it.
That's it. That's all there is to do in San
Can you do
Antonio.
all that in one day?
Oh, easy. Yeah.
Oh,
Look,
Oh.
I love I've been to the Riverwalk multiple times. It is
Right.
a really fun walking, cool. You don't feel like you're in America anymore. It's super. I love it. It's one of the more unique parts of any city. All the different shops and restaurants and things to do. Very cool. Alamo is boring as holy hell. It just is.
well, there goes the San Antonio
It's
Chamber
okay.
of Commerce
It-
sponsor.
that-
How about
I-
that? I mean,
that-
it's the
That's
Alamo.
good. You're like, this is it. Like this is it. Why did I do this? Why am I here?
Listen, the Grand Canyon is one of the 7 wonders of the world. I thought the same thing when I saw
Really?
it. I said, all right,
That's
we're
it?
here.
You said that was it? When you saw the Grand Canyon, that was the first thing you thought was that's it?
Well, no, I thought, all right, this is great. We're standing around. I was not getting on a donkey and riding
Okay,
down
so
and
you
doing
didn't
that.
go see it. Okay, that's a different story.
So
Go
we
into
went
that
and
damn
saw it,
thing.
and I was like, all right, now when we're eating lunch, like seriously, what do we do now? I mean,
Oh,
you
it's-
stare and look at it and take
You
it
gotta
all
go
in.
and hike. You gotta go and like, all the different sides. I mean, there's so many Horseshoe Bend and all. The Grand Canyon. This is about living here. The Nevada, Arizona, Utah little pocket of all 3 around the Grand Canyon and
It's
all the different.
fantastic.
It's so fun.
It's fantastic. If this is your thing, if you like the red
Yeah.
rock and you like
Yes.
the different type of topography and
Just where we
scenery
grew
and
up, we don't
mountains
see
and-
that stuff. Like we don't see any of that stuff where you and I grew up.
No.
We see trees and mountains once in a while. Like we see
Well,
fields and
no.
grass.
I mean, Pennsylvania is nothing but trees and mountains.
Right. Same thing in Massachusetts. Same with New
Right.
England.
Well, you
This-
people in New
this is-
England go to look at the leaves change. I mean, you
Yes, we do.
literally take a weekend and go look at the leaves.
True. Yeah.
So it's a
Fireworks.
different type of thing. But yes, that drive to Arizona back and forth, there's a lot of dead area, but there's a lot of weaving through where you wonder, how did the people actually even make it here before cars? Like,
Awesome question.
it's amazing. Like, I am stunned every
The
time
heat.
that I
How they
drive
survive the
down
heat.
there or to California, where I'm like, they got up over this mountain and then down to the other side. Like,
It made a road.
how did they do this?
a lot of dynamite blowing up
Oh.
those huge things? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's incredible. I mean,
It's
it's
spectacular.
human
but
evolution is incredible in terms of I living out here. I always tell it to Madeline. I'm always like, in parts of Nevada, like to the north of the city where there's no one that's there. I remind her, like, Las Vegas used to look like this, like just nothing. Like, it was just like we literally built something out of nothing here. Like the mob came here and said, like, you know what? I like the valley. I got 3 peaks either side. I can watch the feds. Let's do it here. Build it in the deserts. And that's how
probably-
they picked the valley to be why they built Las Vegas.
probably the conversation went something like that. But
Yeah. Well, they
said
used to have lookouts. I supposedly I've never seen this. Supposedly there are old houses up on the tops of the ridges around the valley where the mob used to station people to watch when they could see the feds coming from miles away. That's why they picked where they picked for Las Vegas. If a big raid was coming, they would have to come over the mountain, and they'd have people on all the mountaintops looking down and looking
there's
over.
only one road into town from a lot of directions.
Well, that's before, but the feds would come over the mountains. They'd come differently. They come with helicopters. They could come in different ways that they were going to come to raid Las Vegas. This is like the 50s now. This is like,
Yeah.
back when there was only one road, but they would come other ways because they know they watched the one road. The feds would say, okay, we're coming in a different way. That's why the whole tunnels. Everybody, I love telling people about the tunnels under the Vegas Strip. They're like, wait, what? Like, yeah, that's how they got the money out. They didn't take it out the front door. They went down. They went into the ground and took the money out. So it was all straight
do
cash.
people know about these stories? Like, why are you telling everybody all the stories right now? Like, we got people going to be come looking for it. What are you
No,
doing?
what do you mean? This is they tell people this at the airport when you come in. They tell people this. This is well known.
All right.
This is
All right. It's
something
public knowledge. All right.
Yes,
that's
it's
good.
public
All right.
knowledge.
All right.
Now, I mean, have you ever seen the documentary of the people who live in the tunnels?
Tunnels in Vegas?
Yeah, there's a whole ecosystem of people underneath. It's about 300 people who live underneath Las Vegas in the old tunnels that the mob used to take the money out.
Send me the link after the show.
Oh, it's
I've never
unbelievable.
seen this.
Oh, it's incredible. It's a whole, like, they have their own police system. They have their own, like, when to wash their clothes. People go run errands. Yeah. It's a whole city under the city in Las Vegas.
You ever see the movie Running Man back in the day? Richard Dawson was the host, and they were playing a game, basically survival. Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the day. There was a whole underground people living. It sounds like you're describing it. It's unbelievable.
Similar, but nobody goes and gets killed for sport down there. At least we don't know. They do, like in Running Man, but it is what it is. All right. So last night, the Yankees got caught. Now, the Judge thing was a question. Herman got caught. Sticky substance on the hands. Gets busted. This is turning into a kind of a rough road trip and a rough trip to Toronto for New York right now.
Oh,
I mean,
again, we asked the question yesterday. I asked the question because that expression, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, has made its way.
He was cheating. Herman was cheating.
What are you doing? I feel like this happens in Toronto a lot.
And nowhere else?
I feel like over the years, a lot of things have happened in Toronto first or gotten called out first. I feel like,
well, you're right.
I love our people up north.
Well, no, you're right about the guys who were in the Sky. What do they call the hotel out in center field?
The Sky Dome Hotel.
Is that what it's called? Okay. They're in the hotel rooms with long lenses.
Yeah.
Went to go and steal. That's how they initially started to steal signs, was in those hotel rooms.
And I mean, there was a lot of guys that went to Toronto and started experimenting with the juice and all this other stuff. Like, it was just different. And now this came out yesterday, and I was like, what are they doing? Like, obviously the Yankees are worried about the Blue Jays, right? You feel like you're going to have to do this stuff. Again, it's so bizarre to just do it out in the open to me. Like, I just don't understand the brazenness
so often now. I mean, you can't get away with this. Baseball has literally said, we're taking sticky substance out of the game. You can't do it because we're going to check you, whether there's an allegation or not. We're just going to walk up to you after you come off the mound. Give me your hand, give me your glove, give your hat. And then they come over and they ask for somebody else. Hey, do you feel this? Do you feel this? Yep. And they do the whoop, you're out. And they throw them out of the game. Suspension coming.
I got this umpire hat from an umpire. Actually, this is an actual Major League Baseball umpire hat.
Nice.
Dear friend gave it to me. The umpires have a hard job, Perrault.
They do.
And they're just like, fans and stuff get upset. Like, what are they doing? What are they? It's the rules. They're just like the cop that pulls you over for a ticket. It's not personal. This is his job. He got to check to make sure if you're speeding. And if you are, you pay the penalty. If you're using the sicky stuff, when they check, you're out. But at what point do we ask them to not? I mean, like, are we always going to have to check because there's always going to be somebody doing it?
Yes. I mean, look at the umpire was spoken to. The crew chief was spoken to after the game. He told a pool reporter, quote, "The instant I looked at his hand, it was extremely shiny and extremely sticky. It's the stickiest hand I've ever felt."
Hold on. Give me the quote again. I'm gonna put on the listening glasses for the quote. We're just reading a quote. That's all we're doing. I just read an Urban Dictionary thing, and his tweet went viral. Cue it up. Give me the glasses. Read the quote again. Get it together.
Crew chief told a pool reporter after the game that Herman's hand, quote, "The instant I looked at his hand, it was extremely shiny and extremely sticky. It's the stickiest hand I've ever felt. My fingers stopped." I was trying to read it.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You can't do that.
I didn't mean to. It was funny. Pick it up where you left off. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You want me to read through the straight face? You can't start laughing.
I'm sorry.
I want to start laughing.
This is the show. All right, sorry. Get it together.
Oh, it's too good.
All right. We're talking about the sticky finger. Go ahead. That was the last thing you said. Something about a sticky finger. Go.
Because he says my fingers had a hard time coming off his palm.
What? He said what?
That's why I couldn't read it, because I was going to laugh. As soon as I read it, I was going to start laughing, because he actually says, the umpire actually says, it's the stickiest hand I've ever felt. My fingers had a hard time coming off his palm. Legitimately an actual real quote. That's not a joke. It's a real quote. Oh, that's too funny.
Curtains off for the show. That's it. I love when you do this. I got my kids doing. They call this the Perrault. When you lean back and you do this, and then you do this with your hat. The kids were imitating you last night at dinner. They said, "Did you guys practice that?" I said, "No. I didn't even hear this quote before. I literally was out and I got in. I read the rundown. I didn't click every link like I usually do. I had no idea that was coming. That was one of your best reads of all time."
Aaron Boone said, not ideal to the to what happened.
You think?
He was asked, not ideal. Yeah, Aaron, not ideal with what's going on in Toronto right now with you guys cheating. It's like every single game you guys are getting busted with cheating in some form or fashion. But your point about them being worried about the Blue Jays is interesting. So you think that they're worried about the Jays more than the Rays?
No, I think they're worried about them both. But I think the reality of the situation for them, I mean, aren't the Jays and the Rays both making the playoffs as of right now?
Well, that's what we thought, right? We thought it was a 3-team playoff appearance, 2 wild card and 1 champ out of the East. So,
well,
could
the
be
Yankees
4. Could be 4.
Could
Why the Orioles can't make the playoffs?
Well, the Orioles, the Red Sox are playing pretty decent,
Yeah.
and the Yankees are up, looking up in the standings. There has to be a little bit of like, hey guys, it's May 17th.
Oh no, there is in New York. There is. I mean, because Yankee fans want Boone fired. The best thing that's happening to the Yankees right now, the Mets are a train wreck. The Mets weren't such a train wreck. The Yankees would be on front page, front and center. But Boone, the happiest guy on the planet right now is Aaron Boone. If the Mets are bad,
Right.
he would be getting ripped every day.
I had a tremendous conversation with Aaron Boone in Las Vegas
Here?
before he got the job managing the Yankees.
Okay. When he was calling games?
He couldn't have been nicer. He's such a real dude. Like, he's just a real guy. And he's trying his best. These Yankee fans are want to fire him every year, every this, every that.
Yeah, they do.
It's over the top. I don't know who you're going to get to manage and do better. You listen to Yankee fans complain. There's only one group of fans that complain as much or more than Yankee fans. They're Red Sox fans. I mean, seriously, you people are nuts. Crazy.
The chat is too good.
What are they doing? I was looking up. What did they say? They get us? They got us something good? What did they get us?
Things I can't really read, but too good.
Oh, why? Why can't you read it? Oh, because we only got no filter today. We got to be very careful. You didn't swear yet, and I didn't swear yet. We're 39 minutes into the show.
Imagine these two were sitting next to each other during every show. I don't know if we could get through a show.
Oh, we would get through the show. We absolutely would get through the show.
Jokes are writing themselves. This is true. These are not even. This is just like.
This is every single day. This is when we talk. We make each other laugh. Silly stuff. I mean, behind the scenes, you were working on the BVB bonus time stinger.
Yes.
Intro.
Yes.
I call you on the way to go to the South Point, and I ask you what you're doing, and you said, I'm working on the stinger because we got to put it on in the show. And I said, what? Me going is not working? And you did that. You're like, no, it's not.
It's not. And
then I heard the result of what you were doing, and I went, oh, that's pretty good. I mean, it's like a pick-em, me doing it or that.
Sure.
And then you did that, and we were laughing. And this is so, yes, the jokes do write themselves. It's every day. It's not, it's real.
Yeah. My baseball betting is turning into one of those joke things, unfortunately, because what
don't
happened?
Get discouraged. You did this last year. You were done with baseball in May. We had a really good run in June, and then the All-Star break got a little bit sticky
and blew everything up. But no, I mean, look, I'm not complaining. I'm basically 500 betting baseball at the moment, so it's not horrible. But Bieber gives up 5 to a White Sox offense that had done nothing. And Lynn, whose ERA was 9 at home, goes 7 and gives up 1 earned run. Like, this is why hockey is more fun, because hockey, the numbers and the trends they tend to stay the course. They don't do this abrupt, I'm going to fall off a cliff one way or the other. Lance Lynn had sucked all year at home, and Lance Lynn goes 7 and gives up 1. Bieber had been really good at home, and Bieber was a gas can last night. I mean, it was like...
It was 0-0 in the 5th. It was 0-0 to the 5th.
And then?
And the 5th. I mean... This is what happens. It's baseball, bro. Like, this can happen. So
I guess I didn't watch the game. I guess there was a balk call, or there was something that happened that threw everything off. Like, I guess everything kind of went downhill for Bieber after a call that didn't go his way. So someone said it wasn't really your fault. It just Bieber really imploded and they lost 8-3, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The other game, I mean, it's 8-4, Dave, in the 7th inning. 8-4.
8-4.
I'm on the run line for the Diamondbacks. We're going to hit this 2-2, 7th inning.
Bam.
Grand slam.
Grand slam.
Not even just a 2. I mean, a single is fine. Score 2, we're okay. Even if you get 3, get an extra run potentially. Nope. 8-8. Game goes to the 12th inning. The A's had 3 chances in extras to win it, and they finally won it in the 12th. I don't know what's worse, going to an A's game or going to an A's game that goes to the 12th inning.
Well, I mean, they probably close everything in the 7th, like, right? They did that last call thing and all that other stuff. Like, so that stinks. It's. We're going to an A's game this summer, just so you know.
Okay,
I'm going.
Sure, great.
I'm going. If you don't want to go, we got people up there. We got people in area codes.
My brother lives in Oakland. I can go.
I know this is perfect.
Yeah,
I want to go meet the brother Perrault up there.
Yeah,
and we'll go to an A's game. We'll shoot our own.
He goes to he goes all the time. He laughs because it's like they can just walk up and buy whatever seat, you buy a high up seat and you just walk down and sit in, box seats.
See, I'll do the different approach. I want to sit in the dugout. How much is the ticket? That's what I want to do. And if I can't sit in the dugout, they'll be like, you can sit this close. Yeah. And they tell me, oh, it's $40 for the most expensive seat. I said, I'll take 2. And we'll go sit right next to the damn dugout, and we'll hear everything, see everything, smell everything. I don't want to worry about getting a high seat and walking down, although we could do that.
Yeah.
I did that once at spring training. I bought a spring training seat at Scottsdale Stadium, a lawn seat.
Right.
Then I walked around and I told the kids, come on, let's go. I had Kylie and Kelsey with me, cute little girls walking around. Jessica would not be a part of it because she's such a straight arrow square. She's like, we're not doing this. I'm like, there's nobody here. It's the 6th inning. It's 110 outside. Relax. Nobody's going to bother us. So we walk around, and we were with another family, and the mom came with me. So there was 4 of us. Paula was her name. We walked around. We went and sat right next to the on-deck circle of the San Francisco Giants. I could literally hear if I whispered and talked to Buster Posey. I was right there, right? You know whose seats I sat in?
Who?
The owner of the Giants.
Oh.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Did he?
Everybody
he come
in
back?
the section was like, who in the hell is this guy? He's sitting in his seats. And I was like,
oops.
Hey, girls, come on, sit down. And we all sat there, and everybody thought we were somebody. They weren't. I didn't find out until
scared.
I got up.
Yep, they were scared to say anything because in case you were somebody, they would look bad. Yeah.
I got up and the usher said, "Do you know whose seat you were in?" I was like, "Well, no. What do you mean?" He goes, "That's the owner of the team," and they showed me a picture of him on his phone. I was like, "Oh, yeah." Forget his name, but yeah, I sat in his seats. So sometimes you got to be careful if you sit too close.
Fair, very fair.
Yeah.
Speaking of the A's, I watched something last night. I have changed my.
Told me about. I can't believe this.
I've actually changed my opinion of. I watched something on YouTube and Instagram last night, which sort of blew my mind. They are selling this completely wrong here in town because everyone's talking about the A's moving to Vegas to play in a 30,000 seat ballpark. For those of us who live here and those of you who come to Vegas to be a part of the nightlife and everything else, what the corner of Tropicana the Flamingo and the Tropicana and Las Vegas Boulevard, that corner, what that's like, that corner is awful. They are going to basically drop, you said it on the call this morning, a bomb on that entire corner. The ballpark is only 9 acres. There's 22 more acres to be developed on top of the 9 that will be completely changing the entire corner in that entire side of the strip. If they do this, if they build this ballpark, and they put in all the nightlife and all of the walking malls and everything else they're talking about changing, places to live, high-rise apartments and everything else they're trying to develop in that whole area, it will force the hand of MGM to have to renovate MGM and New York. That will make that corner look completely different. In 10 years, that will be an unbelievable part of the Las Vegas Strip.
Or will it allow them to keep everything the same and get the runoff? Because the Circa situation was the same thing.
Okay.
And some places have ramped up their game downtown along Fremont when they just literally blew up a building, caused a big hole, and built that nice, I would call it a strip level type property.
Agreed.
Circa.
Yeah, agreed.
Places didn't even upgrade their rooms.
No, because but that's not, I think there's a difference on the strip than downtown.
I would think so.
Downtown is about the visitor, getting people down there. The younger generation was not going to Circa, or not going downtown. Circa has changed a little bit, not dramatically, but there are some younger people who will make their trek down to Circa now where they would not have gone before. Like I was with a bunch of 30-year-old guys who were all on a bachelor party over the weekend. My cousin, and he was the best man in the wedding. And I asked them, do you want to go downtown? Do you want to go to Circa? Do you want to go? I explained everything, what's going on. And they all kind of were like, no, we're good. Like there wasn't any interest in it.
Because they don't know. A lot of times people just really don't know.
No, they knew that they knew about the canopy, that they knew about Fremont Street Experience. They knew about all the different things. And but like on the list of things they wanted to do, it was on the list. It just wasn't a priority for them. They wanted to do other things. They wanted to go to a nightclub. They wanted to have a good dinner. They wanted to go to Wet Republic. They wanted to go, just to do your typical bachelor party type stuff. I just think people who stay on the strip, Aria and Cosmo, that area is really nice. There's a lot of really nice places there. Keep going down to get to Bellagio, keep going down to get to Venetian, the Palazzo, Wynn, Encore, all that. Like if you start at Cosmo and go up towards MGM, all those south. Properties are so south. Yeah, all those properties are old. New York is old. I mean, the park is new, which is nice, but New York is old. MGM Grand's old. Excalibur is blah. Luxor is give me a break. And I mean, Mandalay Bay is nice, right? It's got, the Four Seasons, it's got some higher end, but that's in between Mandalay Bay and Cosmo. A lot of older properties that need an upgrade. This ballpark does that. This ballpark creates, because they're going to build a casino floor, obviously. There's going to be a gaming component to this. You have a new casino, a new ballpark, and 22 acres of other stuff to play around with. Are you kidding me?
So what happens in places like this? Saw it in Pittsburgh. And now, my buddy Travis is a big part of how this is done. Like he runs the team, but he runs the development situations around it and very much aware of it. I've learned a lot talking to him and through him and watching him work. They built PNC Park in a place where there was nothing really they took away Three River Stadium, but they put PNC Park in Heinz Field where that was. They didn't really do the development so much right there. A little bit. It still needs a place to be a place where people go. Well, this will be a place people will go. And two questions back. One, how bad is the traffic going to be? Because they got to figure out how to get that traffic pattern where it's not completely just a burial. Two, will they allow hotels like Hyatt, Fairfield Inn, all these different things, Days Inn, to put hotels there without casinos.
No, why would they do that? 'Cause they're going to build their own. Why would Bally's do that? Bally's is going to build their own hotel.
At what point are there too many casinos here?
Casinos, never too many, but places to stay, never too many. But the places to stay, the question's going to be, and I think you're right about this, are we going to price people out? Because they say,
are we doing it now?
They say 2.5 million more people are going to attend, going to come into town because of their property, because of what they're building. And you and I both
baseball.
No, they'd say overall for the project 2.5 million. We laughed at it. We're like, give me a break. That number is ridiculous. Well, actually, there's some. I can see this a little bit. If they put other attractions on this other 20 plus acres they're going to develop, and baseball is it's baseball, but it's not what they're worried about. They're building other things that are Vegas for families and people to come see and people to come be a part of. That can change a lot. That can bring more people in if you're having state-of-the-art whatever, art, state-of-the-art, because if you bring a hotel in that's going to be really beautiful and nice, people want to stay there, first-class restaurants and shopping and different shopping districts. I mean, 20 plus acres, that's a lot of real estate down there.
It's a lot. And I mean, if you take it and you go east off the strip, I mean, that's where Hooters was.
Yeah.
That's where obviously from the Tropicana away from the strip east, there's a lot of fly by night hotels and motels and convenience stores that you got to be real aware of your situation and your time of visiting and your surroundings. And
it's not the nicest.
No, not the best.
No.
But you would clean that up. I don't know. Like I got to see what you saw.
I'm now thinking about this in a much different way. The A's are just a byproduct. I'm not worried about it because when we built Allegiant, it was built for two purposes: the Raiders and events that needed stadiums. And we needed a stadium here.
A big venue.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something bigger than the 18,500,
right,
or 20,000 maximum,
T-Mobile.
Whatever, T-Mobile. Yeah. Events grew bigger than Mandalay Bay and MGM Grand.
Yep. Concerts, tours.
We got T-Mobile.
Yep.
As T-Mobile started, and we needed a bigger stadium and brought a football team to be the anchor tenant, but we needed to bring Taylor Swift. Wouldn't have come if we didn't have Allegiant.
Right.
Now
Metallica wouldn't have come. I mean, Chili Peppers. I mean, there's been so many big concerts that have come through already.
Right. That used to only go to Phoenix and then LA and it just avoid Vegas. Because if you can sell 50,000 seats, you sell 50,000 instead of 20. You don't go to the 20,000 seat venue. So I get it. I understand. I just don't know. Like, they really got to make sure that they don't oversell the baseball thing and all the development and all this other stuff, because I said it to you on the phone when I was driving, and I meant it. I feel like the baseball team is for the residents. Like, it's 81 games. It's a commitment.
70% of the proposed tenants and or attendance will be locals. That's what the team is projecting. So you are right.
If you make it that hard to get down there, beat them over the head for the parking, and you want to go grab a bite to eat down there before the game, and the whole night's going to cost you all this for baseball, regular season game, it's going to be a hard sell, man. It's going to be a hard sell.
I would agree with you. I think it needs to be family friendly. It needs to be family first. It needs to be a venue that you want to be fighting the traffic to get to. It's got to be worth it, because people fight traffic for Allegiant because it's worth it. There's nowhere to park at Allegiant. You got to walk. You got to park on a deck and then walk across a whole highway to get to the stadium. People will do it because it's worth it.
Right.
So people will go through the inconvenience. I mean, look, T-Mobile Arena, parking next to T-Mobile is not, it's no fun to be stuck in that parking deck after games.
How many more places can there be here to shop? Sonic came in the chat just now, has a good point. He said maybe he's in the minority, but it feels like there are plenty spots to shop. That mall at the Cosmo.
Yep.
Forum shops.
Yep. Crystal Shops.
I mean, Fashion Show Mall is right there.
Yep.
Aria with the crystals and all that
There's
other
more.
stuff. I
There's
mean,
always
it's more
more.
retail.
There's
Like, come on, bro.
There's always more. There's always more.
And we got downtown Summerlin is wonderful.
but
for a
no
lot of
one
things that we got
for
up
us,
there.
that's a local thing. No one goes downtown Summerlin from tourism.
I know, but you can go there to shop and not have the hustle and bustle.
Oh, I never go shopping down on the strip ever. I go to the outlet malls. The only time I'm ever shopping for anything is
Outlet malls got all that. There's a north and a south outlet malls.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the
people
only
come
reason
from all
why.
over the world and shop here. It's amazing what we got here already. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
there's
know
more.
what they're going to put down there.
There's
Perrault.
more. There's so many new restaurants. I mean, Bobby Flay announced a new restaurant yesterday that's going in Caesars. There's there's always new restaurant concepts and things that are changing and flipping over, and just the nature of business. There's if one store works in one part of the strip, they'll make another one.
Right.
That's the other part of Vegas, is that you can have multiple locations. If it works down on the Forum Shops, you'll open up another location on the south side of town. If it works on the north side of town, work on the south side of town. So that's kind of how that's kind of how it means. Big news in the media, and a big congratulations and an applaud to our friends at the Pat McAfee Show. They've been great to us over the years, seeing them at the Super Bowl and coming on and doing a bunch of stuff with us. And this past year, talking to AJ Hawk, and Gump's been on the show a bunch of times, and he's just it's a nice relationship. It stems from you knowing the guys as well as you do. Yesterday got a really big bounce. I will 100% push back on the people that are calling Pat a sellout. I don't think it's right, and I think it actually is a very short-sighted way of approaching things.
Yeah.
Because if nothing changes, and if you just can't say the F word, you that makes somebody a sellout because they're going to stop saying a curse word. That's all they've agreed to do. Like, that's really kind of ridiculous in my mind.
I am way too close to the situation to offer an opinion on it, but I love when people do that don't know anything. Let them talk. Pat ain't worried about it. Pat's worried about the PMI, Pat McAfee Incorporated shows. His Hammer Down, That's Hockey Talk, all of it. Pat's got mouths to feed. He now has a new baby. He's got a lot of things on his mind.
But what this signals to me, and this is a little bit inside school, but you guys were bringing this up on Twitter, and I think it's an interesting point, is that it does show some validity. It does show some a changing of the tide in terms of the way that media is going to be presented in the near future. That the audience, you guys who are watching, you guys who are consuming these shows, you are the ones that everyone's going to cater to, because without the audience, there is no programming. Content has to have an audience. You guys are showing an appetite for something different. It doesn't need to be buttoned up. We don't need to be wearing suits and ties. We don't need to have this, quote, professional look. We don't need to talk.
Wait, are you saying we don't look professional? What are you talking about?
We dress, we wear whatever we want to wear.
We're allowed to do that. That's right.
Yeah, but that's what people like it, because we're casual. Pat wears a tank top every day.
People hate him for it.
For wearing a tank top every day?
Oh, they come at him all the time.
Why? What do they care what he's wearing?
They want to be doing it themselves. Just like that guy that asked me, why do I dress like I'm 10? Because I can.
Yeah, because Pat, I don't know. But the old adage of put one guy on one side of the table and another guy on the other side of the table and have them yell at each other about LeBron James versus Michael Jordan for 3 hours at a time.
That sounds terrible.
Is now dying. And look, Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless created for 20 years now, created the type of content that everybody copied, everybody mimicked. And it worked. Ratings were good. People liked it. Now, I mean, sure, First Take is still around. I haven't watched Fox Sports 1 or Skip Bayless's program in I don't know how many years. I know it still exists. I'm not really sure who's watching it compared to what they used to, but it shows this move by ESPN gives me a lot of fuel for what you and I are doing and what this show is, that we are doing exactly what we should be doing. There's nothing, we're not going to change a damn thing. I'm not going to change a damn thing. What we're doing is we're doing exactly what we should be doing. And Pat being given the Mickey Mouse ears which was something that like 5 years ago, if somebody was like, hey, by the way, Pat McAfee is going to be on ESPN in daytime, people would be like, shut up. Remember when he left punting, left the NFL to go to Barstool? People were writing articles about the dumbest decision in the history of media.
Yeah.
All-pro kicker gives up a lucrative NFL career to go be a talking head. What the hell is he doing? Well, he's
There's
now
a lot
taking
of people actually saying that on the place he's going to work.
It's fair. And look at the change, because what ESPN is saying to the world is that Pat McAfee is going to take us into the streaming world. That's where ESPN is going. ESPN is going to no longer be on cable in the very near future. ESPN is building up their YouTube presence for a reason. Where this show is live and Twitter live. This is what the future is going to be. YouTube TV, Amazon TV. Okay. People can say whatever they want about Amazon and the money that they spent and whether or not the NFL should be mad about the ratings for the Thursday night football. People are paying $100 a year to go shopping on Amazon Prime, and they're giving them football games to keep them around to justify it.
Yep.
You have hundreds of thousands of people giving you $100 plus. Now it's like $130 a year to be part of Amazon Prime, to get the Amazon Prime shows, to get video and whatever else.
It's $100 a year.
More than that. It's like $130 now.
Okay. It's $130 a year.
Yeah. And they have hundreds, and that's to go and give them more money for the right to give them more money to go shopping on their stuff.
Just keep that price point in mind. That's $130 a year.
Yep.
They get all the movies, they get to shop, they get the NFL games, they get a lot of stuff for $130 a year.
To give them
more. That out there as a number because I'm always thinking about the number. And listen, man, it's awesome. I mean, but we believed in this, you and I, from the first time we started talking about it. We've had that conversation with hundreds of people about this show, particularly this show, you and I doing this. We got one shot, we got one yes, and we did it, and they went away. We're going to have another shot. We're talking to people every day about doing it. A lot of different things, let's put it that way.
Yeah. And it's good. I mean,
gives us hope.
Yes. And that is a great word. Hope is a great word. And motivation is a great word. And, I sent a message to Gump last night, but I was, going like, it's so validating is the word I keep on coming back to as to this, as to what you and I have been talking about in the way that we're doing these shows. And when people watch it and they're like, yeah, but you guys swear too much. Oh, we swear too much. Oh, you guys don't wear a suit and tie. Oh, all the things that we're doing. That's like, the value of what we present, it's in the eye of the beholder, but more and more people are coming to our side every day and starting to see the value of what it means, what media will look like in 5 years, in 10 years, because it's going to look a lot like this in what we've been doing.
And it's okay. It ain't for everybody. But if you try it, it's just like the squash with the kids. I keep saying it. Try the squash. If you don't like it, you've got to eat vegetables. Try the broccoli. If you don't like that, try the string beans, whatever. Okay. But if you like it, what we're finding is that people end up going, you know what? That squash isn't bad. I'm going to have it again tomorrow. Wow.
Right.
They're going to come back again tomorrow and the next day. And they're going to tell somebody. And that's how these things grow organically. I think we could help the farmer brother, Perrault. And he's an organic farmer. We'll grow stuff with the BVB and get them to buy them from him. We got all kind of things. See, we could do with all that stuff. Like it just kind of happens.
That's funny. Yeah. I never thought about that. We could, hey, Ben, you could advertise Mountain View Farms on BVB.
Farms right here. We'll talk about the vegetables, the whole thing, whatever you want, man. I'll hold up the stuff right here. Here you go. Won't even use the sticky finger. I want to just hold it right up.
Or the sticky hand.
No, I don't want to do that.
Finally, before we talk about the game tonight for the Celtics, this is some sad news here. And you lived in Arizona, so you understand the Phoenix voter more than I do. But There were 3 referendums up for vote last night. They needed one of them to pass to keep the Coyotes from leaving. There's a plot of land in Tempe that the owner of the Coyotes wanted to pay to build the stadium himself, but this land is like, I guess it's the last bit of really high value property in Tempe. They've developed kind of everything else. So
we drove by it when we went to Weekapaw. You didn't see it. We drove by. Remember that river and all that development, and then we took the turn and went north.
Okay,
it's right down there. But yes, go ahead.
It's the last bit of land in Tempe where they have to decide who gets it, who gets to develop it. And the owner wanted to develop it. He wanted the rights to go and pay for the stadium to build it himself. But because all these other owners have asked for public money and to have taxpayers fund it, the people in Tempe, and this is according to ArizonaSports.com, I watched some stuff this morning on it, they believe that people were just misinformed as to what they were actually voting on. And they all voted no. And the highest of the 3 proposals, the highest got 44%. They need 50% on one of the 3 options to allow the owner of the Coyotes to build. And now he gets to leave if he wants to. Dave, they can go to KC tomorrow. The Sprint Center was built for an NHL hockey team that
for the
never
Penguins.
came. For the Penguins.
It was built for the Penguins. The Penguins were one step out the door, and Mario Lemieux came in and kept them. I remember being really mad, and I had nothing personal about Kansas City, but I was mad at the time because I was still in Pittsburgh. I'm like, this team can't leave.
I was in Omaha, and people were like, why are you building a building without having a tenant? Like, everyone was like, what are you doing? If you build it, they will come. Yeah, will they? But they haven't. So what you've had is a basketball venue for college. That's been a college basketball. That's when concerts and college basketball all go in the Sprint Center. But you could pick up and move from Phoenix to the Sprint Center tomorrow, and the Coyotes could play there next year. It's already set up for them to go ahead and do that.
Zach the Hat just came in and said Utah Jazz owner wants to buy them, according to Dreger.
Yes, I think there's going to be a monster amount. Salt Lake City could 100% use another pro franchise. They only have one. They could have 2. Portland, Oregon could be another that would 100% would love to have a second pro sports team. They only have one.
JC from KC just came in and said, just so you know, it's no longer the Sprint Center. It's now the T-Mobile Center.
Oh, well, I guess Sprint got bought by T-Mobile. So,
right,
okay.
Yeah.
So there's 2 T-Mobile.
There's
2 T-Mobile centers in America?
Apparently so.
That's confusing.
KC Blades were a great IHL team.
Yep.
So they've had hockey there.
Oh, yeah. Hockey will work. There's no debate. Hockey in the Midwest, in that corridor, in the Omaha, Kansas City, Missouri corridor, hockey works. It would work. KC would be all in on it. It would be the 3rd team for them. You have the Royals, Chiefs. KC's about the same size as Vegas. We're talking about having 3 teams here. Bring in baseball.
Something to carry. I mean, growing up in Pittsburgh, it was perfect. Baseball season ran into football season. Football season ended, and it was time to officially follow hockey. And hockey, unless they made the playoffs, ran it right to baseball. It was a natural thing. And for 3 or 4 months, it's only hockey. It's if the city's ready for it, it's
ready for it. I mean, I just don't know what the lease situation is, and whether or not the owner of the Coyotes wants to sell, or does he want to move the team? Like, what do they want to do? I mean, he owns the Sahara here in town, so he owns a property in Vegas. Right. He's got ties obviously into the southwest of the United States. So I don't know if he's looking to move it out. I mean, San Diego could be a place. I don't know if hockey would work in San Diego, but that's a market that needs more pro sports. You can keep it in the Southwest.
I think they're pretty happy with just having the Padres, to be perfectly honest. They got
Looks
so many other things to do. I don't know.
Right. Looks that way. I mean, I just, it stinks because there's a lot of young talent on that roster, and the Coyotes are going to, those fans that are in Phoenix who love the Coyotes and love hockey are going to have to watch those kids develop somewhere else, most likely. And they could turn into a decent team in 2 or 3 years.
Based on what you read, are they not going to be there next year?
They could leave immediately. They can leave whenever they want. The NHL is allowing them to explore all avenues.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So it's
I'll have to go see Brother Smoke and Aunt Dina and the boys, and then Aunt Dara and Uncle Steve, and stuff and go to a game. I mean, if they're
Yeah.
playing there next year, might be the last year they're in Phoenix.
Yeah. So the statement
Ugh.
from Gary
Yeah.
Bettman last night was the National Hockey League is terribly disappointed by the results of the public referenda.
Referendum.
Thank you. No, referenda. I thought it was dumb. It's
Referenda.
regarding the Coyotes Arena project in Tempe. We are going to review with the Coyotes what the options might be going forward.
That
Which is
doesn't
basically
sound good at all.
we're gone. Like eventually
That didn't sound good at all. I mean, I'm not a lawyer or a politician, but
we're
I
gone.
play one on here sometimes. That don't sound good.
Yeah, that's goodbye. That's thanks. Appreciate it. We're gonna go. We're going somewhere else. We're gonna go find something else to go do. And I can't say I'm angry. You know, if they do it, it's you had a shot. You know,
I was a season ticket holder when I was in Arizona when they played downtown
Mhm.
where the Suns play. It was, excuse me. Thank
One
you.
of those days.
Can't wait for this allergy season. And by the
Right.
way, I'm dying. It was fun. It was electric. Game nights were hype. I mean, but I was a hockey fan. But there were hockey fans there. They brought the team from Winnipeg, and it was whiteout playoffs and all that stuff. There were some good players, good teams. They moved that team to Glendale. People didn't go. They developed that whole area out
Killed
there.
it. Yeah.
They didn't go. Then the team got bad. Now they definitely wouldn't go. So they threw them in a 5,000 seat arena, and they're bad.
Mm.
I mean, do you think if they'd have got Connor Bedard, it would have been different? No.
I don't
think it
know if they
would've.
won. People might have go if they win. I mean, winning
I don't know.
solves
think so.
everything. If you can win, it means everything. The Coyotes played really hard at the end of the year. They were a tough team to beat. You saw that they have something.
Yeah.
That they've got some young talent, that they're going to be okay, that they're going to be a contending team in a couple of years, maybe not next year, but soon. And now they're leaving. Where are they going? We don't know, but it looks like they're no longer going to be in Phoenix.
Wow.
So if they build a new stadium, it could be. And I think that lease deal is 3 years with what they did at Arizona State. Because they initially thought they're going to play there for 3 years, build a new stadium, we'll be good to go. So maybe they have to stay there for another 2 seasons and then they can move. But
wow, we'll see.
They're going to be the somebody else Coyotes. If I was a betting man, I think Kansas City is a very good option, and I think a Pacific Northwest team is also another very good option because you could put a team in Portland and have a really cool Seattle, Vancouver, Portland corridor right there. Have those 3 teams.
That would be kind of cool, but I don't know. Seattle, I mean, the success of Seattle, they may not want another team up there.
I know Portland wants one, but the NHL might not want one, or Seattle wouldn't want it.
The NHL might not. It might be too close. You hear these territorial right things and all this other stuff. And like, when the Nationals went to Baltimore, the Orioles owners were mad.
Flipped out.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
You got to pay us. It's too close. It's this, it's that. I mean, it's a different state. I think it would be good. I don't know. I don't want to see him leave. Personally, I think there's a future there. So hopefully they figure something out. But that didn't sound good.
No, I think it's done. Personally, I'd be very. I think staying is a big dog. Where they go is the question. But I think staying in Phoenix, they're a big dog.
Right.
It's too bad. All right, tonight Boston laying 8 to the Heat. The total is 212. It was 210.5 last night. Now it's 212.
Right.
8's too many points, right?
I ain't betting this. I don't want nothing to do with this. I mean,
I'm going to give you one. Heat outright tonight.
Stop the not. Is this a reverse jinx? They're not winning the game.
Okay. I've already bet the Miami Heat plus 2.5 games at minus 140.
Plus 2.5 games.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing that beats is Celtics in 4 or 5.
Correct. Everything else is live.
You think they're going to win a game outright tonight?
I think Miami will have a chance to win the game outright tonight. Yes.
Damn.
Boston in game 1s do not play well. Teams coming off of a long 7-game series, having a turn right around for a team that's been rested and a team that's well coached and prepared. This is a bad night. This is bad news for ball. I don't like the Celtics tonight.
I mean, it's pricey, but Celtics money line for me. I wouldn't lay the 8. Because I think you'll be able to lay less than that during the game.
I'm just taking the points.
Yeah. Okay. Total.
I have 3 bets on this game. First half total, second game total, and game side.
Let me guess. First half total over.
Boston team total over.
Boston team total. That's what I meant. Good. Yeah. But, I mean, that's been a staple to show.
Yeah.
I mean, that's okay. Listen, it's fine. If it works, keeps working, you just keep doing it. We've had that discussion too.
Number keeps on going down. 56.5.
What is it today? 56.5 today.
Yep.
That's about as low as it could go.
They've been averaging 51 last 3 games.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Philly did a good job in the first half of slowing them down.
Right.
The Thrive and Prosper prop bet of the day hit yesterday with Nikola Jokic. We're going to come back here with Jaylen Brown over 30.5 points in rebounds tonight for Jaylen to have a good game scoring. This number is currently at minus 110 to the over, if you're looking at it from that perspective. But this prop has hit, let's see, 51 of 80 times. This has gone over. 2 of the last 3 games, this has gone over. 29.5 in the last game to 31. 30.5 in game 6, only got to 23. And then the game before that at home, 29.5, he got to 30. Now it's 30.5.
Let's see.
This could be a Jaylen game tonight.
Or 24.5.
24.5 and 5.5.
And 5.5 for
both juice to the over.
Right. I don't know. My first thought is over. But you like over?
Mm-hmm.
What gets you? The points or the rebounds?
I think he'll have 6 or 7 rebounds tonight, just because.
It's always the damn rebounds that get you though in these combos. No,
I don't know. 5.5 is pretty low for him.
He's a pretty average.
He's a pretty active guy. Yeah, but I mean, in these playoff games where it's like Brown does a lot of the little things. He gets after it. He passes the basketball. He rebounds the basketball. I think it's a dogfight game tonight. I think it's going to be
if it's a dogfight game, I think you got a really good shot.
Yeah.
If it's not a dogfight game, you're in trouble.
I would
Big
agree.
Trouble.
I would agree. Yeah, I would agree with that. But that is at Thrive Fantasy. If you want to go ahead and go and pick that up, you got to use something else on the other side of it. It has to be at least 2 legs at Thrive. That's a prop bet you can use as well. With Thrive, you can eliminate the countless hours of research, focus only on top tier athletes in the biggest of games, user versus user prop tournaments, or the top multipliers in the prop lobby, where you can build an entry to win up to 20 times your money. Promo code BVB when you sign up to receive a 100% instant first deposit match of up to $250. Download the app, thrivefantasy.com, or in the App Store, or go to bvbshow.com and click on the sponsors channel. And there's a direct link in there for you to be able to go directly in downloading Thrive with BVB already in there and loaded up for you as well. Little baseball tonight. Mariners and the Red Sox, 2 games, 2 overs. How about over 9.5 tonight for the Red Sox and the Mariners again?
It ain't that hard. I was talking to somebody last night. He goes, I just bet the Red Sox over every day. It's working out. It's like, you should watch the show. You'll love the show. He goes, you from Boston? I said, no, but my co-host is. I said, we've been talking about this. This has been pretty good. Yes, over 9.5 today. Over pretty much every day in these situations. No?
11 and 13 are the runs to have been scored the last 2 games. First game, it was 10-1 final. It was 10.5 yesterday, 9-4 final. Books can't figure out what to do with this. They put 9.5 up today. Gonzalez against Brian Bello. Both guys have ERAs over 4. In Bello's case, over 5. Red Sox score and give up runs. That's the story of the Red Sox.
Right?
So
it's pretty much the same story.
They win, it goes over, they lose.
Or even venue.
Yeah. Home, road.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Top 5 offense, but also bottom 5 pitching for Boston. So
starting pitching. The bullpen's been okay.
Yeah. I mean, Jensen's had a couple of rough outings recently.
Right.
He started really good, but he blew his last 2 save opportunities.
Right.
But we'll see. I mean, last night wasn't a save opportunity, so we'll see. I like that. How come Cole is only a minus 115 favorite against Toronto?
It's coming down, actually.
Again, this is the same thing as yesterday.
Blue Jays.
It's the same thing when they were batting the home
Listen,
dog.
this is a hard thing to put the number on a road favorite. It becomes difficult. You saw it yesterday with Bieber. They lost. We talked about it yesterday with Seattle and Boston. I said we said the take
Boston was plus 165. Boston
was gigantic. That was just wrong. Like, how high do you make it? So you put it this low and see what happens. I mean, they're betting. You know they're going to bet the dog. This is not hard. So you're just trying to find the number where they don't take it again. So it's minus 112 in places, 115, 120. Now it's moving right now at one of my offshore places down to 111, 110.
Wow.
They're trying to find the high water mark. It's not because it's against Cole. It's just trying to find the number where they stop betting the dog.
Blue Jays are 12-5 at home this year.
That's good.
But they've lost both games to start this series against the Yankees.
So this is for the sweep. Is this a 3-game series? Let me see.
This is a 4-game series.
Oh, they do play tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Play it Thursday. Yeah. It's a 4-game set.
Barrios is minus 140. What?
Yankees are just 9-9 on the road right now.
What?
But the Yankees have won 2 games in a row.
Yes.
Now the Yankees are tied with the Blue Jays for being 7.5 games back at Tampa. How about, the Red Sox are 3 games over 500 in last place.
Tough division.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
How many games back?
9.
3 games over 500 and 9 games back on May 17th.
Yeah. By comparison, they would be in second place in the AL West, and they would be in second place in the AL Central.
What would they be in the NL Central with that record?
In the NL Central, they would be they're tied with the Pirates. So a game and a half out of first. Second place.
Well, that's too bad that they're in the AL East.
Or the AL in general. It's too bad that they're right now. It's not going to be easy. And then finally, the Pirates game hasn't gone off yet, right?
It's over. Done. 8-0 final.
Okay.
Wrap. Rich Hill. Again, another quality outing. They're playing good when he pitches.
How about this though? This was what I was going to ask you. 7.5 was the total, so it went over.
8.
I was going to say bet over.
8-0.
Yep, and it went over. How about that?
Chill overs.
All right, time for better to book it.
Do it.
Let's go. Boston Celtics team total first half of 56.5 tonight. Betting and booking it for the Celtics to go over.
This is a bet, no?
I think it is because I do think Boston's going to play up tempo. I think Miami's going to run with them. I think we're going to see an up tempo game here for both teams.
I think Miami has to slow this down, though.
I don't think so. I don't think.
No?
I don't think so. I think Miami, they want to do that, but I think they're going to have a tough time scoring against Boston's defense if they do that. And you might go like, well, Miami doesn't want Boston to run on them. All right. Well, how is Miami going to score on Boston then? Because Boston can play both ways. They can play half court.
All right.
And Philadelphia is a better defensive team, I think, with more weapons to throw at the Celtics than what Miami is. I think Butler's got to be the key. They got to get him in the open court, get him rolling, and get Bam. I mean, Horford's going to have a good game against Bam in my mind. I mean, they need Hero being out is huge. So Strus has to be phenomenal. What?
Is it really?
Yeah, it is to me. They need to hit threes to beat the Celtics. They got to knock down threes.
Man, Cincinnati was winning the game today 5-0 with Ashcroft as a dog, and then they just gave up a bunch of runs. It's now 5-5. Against the Rockies.
So I think Boston's their average this season at home is 61.
Right.
They haven't had good scoring halves recently.
Right.
But I think coming off of the series against the Sixers, I don't think Tatum does incredible things. I do think they score 60 in the first half tonight.
I like it. Bet it.
Okay. I'm taking the Miami Heat +8. Sprinkle the money line.
I do it too. I say bet it.
I'm
in full disclosure, I'm not making a single bet on this game unless I'm doing a show later today on Sports Grid and I see something where I want to jump in. Like I was getting text last night.
Like the Lakers.
Dave, Lakers
down.
are plus 18.
Yeah.
You know, I was on and they said, what would you take? I said, well, as soon as you get 19 and a half, like I don't think they're going to lose by 20, but it's going to be close. I think they come back a little bit. Anything over 15 was good, but I said 19 and a half. Wait for 19 and a half and grab it.
That might happen here tonight.
Take 12 and a half in this.
That might happen here tonight, by the way. Boston might be up by 20 going into the fourth quarter and blow it.
Blow the game?
They could blow the game or blow the cover, one or the other.
It's only we've been doing the show an hour and 25 minutes, and you said earlier that you thought the Heat money line was live tonight.
It is.
You think they're going to get a big lead and then give it back?
Yeah, Boston does this. This is what they do in game ones and in fourth quarters. This is what they're going to do, okay? They're going to exhale. Boston got put against the wall. Somebody tried to take their milk money. They realized they got a switchblade in their back pocket. They pulled it out and they stuck it into the Philadelphia 76ers, okay? And then they die. Bye. Philly's dead. Now they're walking on the street thinking they're all good. Everything's all wonderful. They're whistling down the street, and then someone's going to hit them with a car. And that car is going to be Jimmy Butler. And then they're going to realize, okay, this is not going to be that easy. We got to get going. This team is mentally soft. This is what they do. They're going to, tonight, they're going to think this is going to be easy. And they're going to be like, all right, we got past Philadelphia. We got to beat these chumps in 5 games. And then we're on to the finals and we'll see who we're going to play. That's my worry about game one.
That's right above my head says the word Bostonian. You're wearing a Celtics hat and you're completely besmirching your team.
I'm just telling the truth. I look, whether I'm a fan or not, I have 2 eyes and a brain. I can look at these things and I can tell you that after watching my team all year long, the Miami Heat are mentally tougher than the Boston Celtics and they're better coached. Spoelstra against Joe Mazzulla is a mismatch and I'm petrified about it. Absolutely petrified about that mismatch. So I think Boston wins the game, but I think Miami, if they win, I'm not going to be shocked at all. +8, I don't think Boston covers. And I also think that Miami is going to have a shot tonight, potentially. And I could see Boston having a double-digit lead and blowing it and blowing the cover, just like Denver last night. Just like last night. Their fourth quarter desire is like, it's tiny.
You almost said whistling Dixie. Is that what you were going to say? I heard you. I almost said it. Like whistling Dixie is an expression. Yesterday, I used an expression about
scare the dickens out of you.
Scare the dickens out of you. We got a history lesson on that. Right. Thank you all who reached out and kind of told us about the Dickens. And now we're whistling
Josie was like, Matt was right. It's like, thanks, Joe.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate that. Over 210, 210 and a half. It's down 212 now.
2 eyes and a brain is my new resume. Thank you, Sonic. This guy. Over 210 and a half. See, I booked this one. I think this is an under game. I think Miami has to play it ugly. I think it's low scoring. I think it feels like it could be a blowout. I don't know. I don't like over tonight.
I do.
It's fine.
Did you see that in Ohio that they have the Phantom Fireworks who operate here in Vegas, where we get all of our Phantom pop-up stores in Ohio, that they actually put in an application for a sports betting license to take bets while you buy fireworks.
This just sounds like a really bad idea.
So to BetSmart, Tyler, in Lenore City, Tennessee, there's a strip area of a Clarion Inn with the best Mexican food outside of Guadalajara, a gas station, a fireworks superstore that also serves fried chicken.
What's wrong with fried chicken?
Nothing, but it doesn't make any sense, right? Mexican food, fireworks, a gas station, and fried chicken all in one place.
There's only one other thing you could bring in there, and that would make it a paradise right there.
Toilet paper, but you can go. So you go have.
I wasn't thinking that actually,
but you can
something. But we're still on Sports Grid, so I couldn't.
You can't say it. No, you can't say it yet. We got 7 more minutes. 7 more minutes before we let go of Sports Grid. But I mean, does anybody raise their hand in Ohio and say this is a really bad idea?
No. I'm going to Ohio next week. We'll talk about that.
Oh, you got to do. When you go to Ohio next week, you got to.
That's it. We got to talk about it off the air first, but I think I got a couple ideas of things planned. I want to talk about it more, and I want to talk about getting together with people in the Midwest because I will have access to different places. But we'll be in Ohio. Maybe we'll go and ask different places that have sports books.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
It's the questions, whatever you want.
The gas station. You should just go in there and ask the gas station people. Like, does anybody actually place a bet here? Does anyone actually come in here and place any wagers?
You know how to work this kiosk?
I don't ever like.
I mean, we got kiosks all over town. I got a kiosk right by my house at the Smiths, and I asked one question, and the woman was like, "I don't know how that thing works." I said, "Okay, I'll take care of it." I just
because video poker machines are pretty self-explanatory, but the sports betting one's a little more difficult.
Yeah, a little bit different.
That kiosk is a little more, a little more complicated. Let's do one more better to book it here. I have one baseball play for you.
Arizona run line again.
Yes, third time
again.
I'm 1-1.
How'd it go?
Well, it was a fluke. Should have won. Fluky thing.
Was winning the whole thing.
8-4. Winning grand slam. So I'm going to bet that doesn't happen again. So I go 2-3 and I come out of the game. I come out of this profitable.
All right.
They have 10 wins.
1-0 Arizona on the 5th.
Yes. Now. We're good. Yeah.
So
we're good.
This is an in-game bet for you people watching the show live right now. And again, if you are, thank you for being here.
What is the odds
button? Hit the subscribe button. Hit all of it. Hit the like button. Don't be a bum. Hit the thumb. Thank you. J. Dow Bets and Chef Benny. That's both of your creations. Why in the world would you bet the A's?
Well, here's the interesting thing about, I mean, we're talking about betting against the A's. So the A's won a game against the Royals and then lost 5 games in a row. Then they beat the Rangers and they lost 3 games in a row. Beat the Diamondbacks. Like, I think you can kind of target this season as to when the A's win to bet them, wait for them to win a game, and then bet them. Just fade them after a win for a good length of time.
Right.
So I'm going to jump on that and I'm going to bet them here. I'm going to bet the A's. They have 10 wins right now. They are 17 games out of first place on the 17th of May. I'm not sure I've ever seen that.
17 out and 17th of May. Doesn't bode well.
It's going to be a long. They go to the Astros, then to Seattle. Then they play the Astros at home. Then they play Atlanta. Then they play at Miami. Then they play at Pittsburgh. Then they play at Milwaukee. Then they play home versus Tampa. Okay. From now until June 15th, I don't know if they win 5 games. For the next month, I don't know if the A's win 5 games.
That might be a project for tomorrow. We'll do a segment. How many games will the A's win in the next 30 days? We'll set a number. We'll go through
because they have an off day on Thursday. They don't play tomorrow.
Okay, so that's when we'll do it. We'll do it. So if we see anybody else doing this on any other show, because there's not a person or show in the world that's going to do this except us right here on the BVB.
Yep.
We'll go through the next 30 days or whatever it is of the A's, and we'll come up with a number.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be about 8.5.
Not under. May 19th to June 15th. We'll do that run as to what they're going to, because they're going to face numerous teams who are in first place in their divisions or second place in their divisions.
I'm going to tell people I'm going to be somewhere in Ohio. I want to see who comes by.
Oh.
Next week. I'm going to be somewhere. And if you come by and say hello, I think I'm going to give them a hat. A general,
basic hat.
Just a basic BVB hat. I'm going to try to get some made before I go. And
we're trying that could be another thing that we do, guys, is that we create these hats that are just going to be not specific, general. Generic.
Don't tell nobody nothing yet. We're working on it. But I just thought of that. I said maybe I could come meet them and bribe them to come by and say hi and BS and with a hat. Maybe we'll do something.
Okay. Like Sports Grid, thank you for being here. We appreciate you guys. We'll be back coming up tomorrow for you guys who are live on YouTube and who are live on Twitter. You guys get BVB bonus time. You like that?
Is that Pac-Man?
No, it's not Pac-Man. It's but it has a Pac-Man sound effect.
Sound like a Pac-Man.
It's not. It's a slot machine. It's a slot machine, but it's BVB bonus time.
Speaking of which, slot machine. Did you hear that they got to take away the slot machine at UNLV for the sideline?
Why is this a big story?
Turnover slot machine.
Why is that a big deal? I don't understand why everyone's talking about this.
It's the first step. Schutz texted me yesterday and said, "Did you guys hear?" Because he came on and talked about that and what a bad look it was at the time.
Right. Yeah.
And now all this pushback with the colleges and the kids and the books. Yeah. It's a big deal. The turnover slot machine. A lot of people outside of Vegas that are enamored with slot machines and things like that thought it was really cool.
It is
you
cool.
And I,
it was super cool. I thought it was awesome. Yeah. I think it was a big deal that kids were doing it. Everybody else was like, "Oh my gosh, it's greasing them to want to do it. It's a precursor to making them addicted to gambling." It's like, this is just no. Like, what? No. Sorry. No. So, favorite thing about today is what?
Well, damn it. It was, I got a couple things, but it might be that new graphic that you just inserted right there. That was outstanding. This is really, really good. This is good. I'm glad to see that.
I can do some magic. I can do some magic.
You can definitely do some magic. I mean, the read about the guy getting caught with I'm going to figure out how to get that clip today.
I can clip it. I can. It's easy.
Well, I know. I just had to figure out the right in and out because we only get so much time. But the amount of people that reached out about the curtain thing, thank you.
Oh my.
It was just was one of those things that we learned and talked about. Thank you.
Sonic, sorry for scaring your dog. I didn't mean to scare your dog. He said that sound scared his dog.
Damn, we didn't mean to do that. We don't mean to scare dogs.
No.
We don't want to scare dogs.
Was it too loud? I mean, Sonic's the one that made the graphic. I just put the music underneath it. That was his graphic.
Again.
Anyway, sorry.
The dog's already sleeping again, so that's okay.
Okay.
All right, two things. Best thing about today. One, I was calling you and I was going to the South Point to hang out, say hello, see some people about some things. And I got to see Chris Andrews, dear friend in the business, lifelong guy doing this, published author twice. You guys go read his book. We've had him on the show multiple times. Yeah, he's published multiple books. He's there taking bets. It's an afternoon day of baseball. So it was so much fun. And then on the way out, I got to see Dave Ross, who's also, he does work for Visa, but he's a good friend of the show. He's a good friend. He watches the clips. He sends me little notes all the time. I said hello to him and he goes, "What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be doing the show? Is it curtains for the BVB?" And I said, "Oh, everybody got jokes. This is funny, hilarious." He's like, "That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, yeah. He goes, "It wasn't really gambling content." I said, "No, that's the show." So that was one favorite thing that happened today. My other favorite thing is last night I had to, after dinner and then after the shows and stuff on Sports Grid and everything else, I had the responsibility of picking up my oldest daughter, Kylie, after her last road trip as a member of the College of Southern Nevada softball team. Her sophomore year is done. They lost their last game with a walk-off grand slam to get run-ruled. Everything went bad. Everything was terrible. It ended the worst possible way that it could have, with a loss, an embarrassing loss. And I picked her up. She had a 6-hour bus ride home from Salt Lake City.
Ouch.
With a lot of kids that she's never going to play with again, that are never going to play softball again. And she's got to make a decision and go on to play another. She's adamantly like, "I want to keep playing softball. I have 2 more years of eligibility. I love this game.
That's
and I want
great.
to play."
Wow.
So I laid down. I put my seat back in the car because I was early, because despite the fact that it feels like I'm late for this show every day, my life, when I need to be somewhere, I'm early, because on time is not right. I'm always early. So I was one of the first cars there way before the bus. Took a little nap. She tapped on the glass. I was so excited to see her. And she opened the car door, threw her stuff in the car, and was grumpy as hell. And I was like, and she goes, why would you come and have stuff in the trunk? You know, I got bags and this and that. I said, can I put your stuff in the back seat? It's fine. It's okay. I got some stuff in the back in the trunk. Just move it forward. Put your bags in there. It's fine. And she was so angry and pissed off and upset. It's over. Like this little 2-year ride is over. She had to sit on that bus and think about it and talk about it. And I was texting you. I was like, man, it's so hard to be a kid right now. It's so hard. She's 19 and has no idea what she's going to do with her life next year, where she's going to go, what she's going to do, if she's going to be allowed the opportunity to keep playing. And I just sat back and I was like, man, I am so glad to be a dad. I am so glad to just sit here and listen. I'm glad I'm alive to have her be as miserable as she could be right now. She got in the car and I said, are you good? She did not stop talking until we got home. It was a vent of all vents.
Wow.
She needed to get it out and off her chest. I am so blessed to be able to, like, I love the driving and listening to the kids venting. I could have wrote a book, and I still might, about driving in the car with your kids. One-on-one. You do it when you take Maddie to school, pick her up. You learn so much because they're free. And I used to tell the kids, when you get in this car, you're talking just us. No one in the outside world can hear you. No one's going to judge you. And it's a safe place. It was an absolute joy. I came home and crashed because my ears were bent. And I was like, I'm tired. It's 1 o'clock in the morning and I got to go to sleep because I got to do the shows. But favorite thing about today?
That's cool.
Just be around.
Well, it's funny because Madeline I have a 2-seater car. So like this week I get to drive her around and she's in the front seat. And so like she thinks it's the greatest thing in the world because she can control the radio and I can't yell at her. So she's loving it. She's like, I can do this and I can do that. But what it's done this week, it's kind of very similar to what you're talking about, is that because she's not behind me, she's next to me, that she turns and wants to tell stories. Like she has talked more this week, telling me different stories just because we're not on the same level, but like we're next to each other. And so she just starts like telling me all these different stories she hadn't told me before. And I was just like, this is neat. I was like, this is going to be like when you get older and you'll be up here all the time. It's like, okay, it is different when you're in the back seat. You are kind of in your own world. You're kind of stuck behind, you're away. The music's playing in your ear and you're walking up, looking out the door and out the window and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it's true. I do my best thinking when I drive. When I'm the most upset, when I need to get my life together, get in a car and I drive. Just go. Just motion has always helped. When I'm moving, it always helps me crystallize my thoughts and what I'm thinking about. My favorite thing about today, to be quick because we got to run here. I bought Madeline her first pair of boxing gloves yesterday.
Ooh.
I bought my first pair of coach mitts yesterday.
Oh boy.
Put her through her first ever boxing training workout yesterday. Her hitting the mitts for the first time. Yeah. It's a long way to go, but it's, she likes it. We went to Dick's. 2 things happened yesterday that were crazy. First, with Dick's Sporting Goods, walked in, went over to the golf section for the first time, went to the golf section. I was like, okay. It's like, what's this all about? She was like, Daddy, how do you putt? I was like, come here. And we grabbed the ball and blah, blah, blah. So went over to the driving range thing, the little simulator. And she's like, how do you hit a golf ball? And I was like, this might be something we're going to wind up be able to do. I was like, all right, that's kind of neat. Your interest might actually, I was like, Madeline, I was like, if you want to golf, I will do everything in my power because it's the sport that I think you would have the most fun at. She wants to swim because one of her best friends are swimming, but she doesn't really like swimming enough to go and become a part of the swim team. But she likes being outside. She likes wearing dresses. I'm like, this is perfect. Golf would be the thing for you. Anyways, but then we buy these boxing gloves, put them on. She went through a 30-minute workout and didn't whine, didn't complain, enjoyed it, thought it was fun. Every Tuesday we're doing it. I'm like, okay. I made her sit there and give me I swear that I will do this. If I buy all this stuff, I swear you'll do it. So we'll see how long she sticks for it, but it's a different iteration. I've never had it with my daughter. So to be in the coach training dynamic, sure it'll be sticky and dangerous and down the road. But for right now, it's cool. It's very, very cool.
All you got to do is make it fun.
Yeah. It's all
make it fun.
Yep.
I make taking out the garbage fun.
Uh-huh.
And they learn how to take out the garbage. We learned how to do their laundry. We made
Right.
it fun. Now they all do their own laundry. The 9-year-old does her own laundry.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Like, you make it fun
Right.
and teach them and be like the metaphor for sitting next to each other driving now is huge. Now you're on the same.
Yeah.
You're on the same. Nobody's behind you.
Right.
You ain't in front.
They
You're
caught
right
up.
next to you. Now you're equals in their eyes. Just let her hit them mitts. I can't wait. I'm going to come over and hold them mitts. Bam, 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 bam,
Yeah.
bam,
She
bam.
knows. She knows 1, 2, 3. She knows the combos now. She knows,
Nice.
we went through all the different call outs and what to do and what it was pretty cool. So
Our buddy Norm from college just texted me and
Yeah.
said, why are you still on the air right now? And I said, we started late. And he goes, you knew. Don't tell me you didn't know. And I said, I really didn't know. Still about the meat curtains. He's saying you didn't know. I didn't know, Norm. I didn't know, people. Thanks for being here. Sign us off.
we're back tomorrow. Another episode of BVB. What time? I don't know. Check the Discord channel,
Open the
bvbshow.com. We'll tell you
Be
about
here.
that. Stop that. He's Dave. I'm Matt. We'll talk.